Hello everyone, you are all welcome to my new video session about the vector analysis chapter. So in the previous chapter I have discussed about the basic definition of the vector quantities, what is vector, and about the different types of the vector quantities, and then again we have talked about the additional techniques of the vector quantities, the technique by which we can add two vectors. This includes the triangular rule of vector addition, the parallelogram rule of vector addition, and the polygonal rule of vector addition. So today we will be talking about the next aspects of the vector analysis chapter. Okay, so I hope that this video will be useful for you, and if you feel any doubt or you have any query regarding the discussion, whatever is made, then you can post it in the comment section below. Okay, so friends, let us start our topic of discussion. So today our topic of discussion is, first of all we will discuss about the subtraction of the vector quantities. Yesterday in the previous video we have talked about the addition of two vectors, and now we are talking about the subtraction of vector. So we are interested about the subtraction of vector. Okay, so here you have to remember the rule by which we have find out the addition of two vectors. So if you recall the previous session, then we have discussed that suppose we have two vectors, suppose we have two given vectors, one is OA and it is given by A vector say, and we have again another vector, suppose it is given by OB and it is B vector say, and the B vector makes angle theta with respect to A vector. This angle is chosen in the anti-clockwise sense. Remember that in vector analysis technique we will choose the angle in the anti-clockwise sense, and it is the correct sense to choose the angle between two vectors. And in that case we are find out that R is the resultant vector and is given by A vector plus B vector. And what was the direction of R vector? The direction of R vector was given in this direction. Okay. And suppose R vector is oriented at an angle phi with respect to A vector, then in that case we have find out that R vector is equal to mod of R vector, that is the magnitude of R vector, equal to root over A square plus B square plus twice AB cos theta, and the direction of R vector was given by tan phi equal to B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. This was the two relation we are obtained in vector addition technique, in addition of two vectors. But in subtraction of two vectors, suppose you are asked to find out that what is the result of A vector minus B vector. These two are the vector quantities, A vector and B vector, and you are asked to find out A vector minus B vector. Then this is called the subtraction of two vector, and this subtraction of two vector is basically a vector addition technique. How? Because subtraction means the subtraction of one vector from another vector, that is the addition of one vector with the reverse or the negative of another vector. Let me make it clear. So you are asked to find out A vector equal to A vector minus B vector. This is subtraction of the two vectors, and it is given to A vectors. Then you can write it down as A vector plus or minus B vector. You can write it down. You can write A vector minus B vector in the form of A vector plus or minus B vector. Understand? So it is a mathematical form. Then in the diagram it will look like this only. It will look like this. You have to draw the opposite of B vector as like this. You have to draw the opposite of B vector. So this is B, and suppose this is B dash. This is B dash. This is B and this is B dash. Okay. So you have to find out so this is OB dash equal to minus B vector. Say this is minus B vector. So here you need to find out A vector minus B vector, and it will be oriented this S vector equal to A vector minus B vector equal to A vector plus of minus B vector. That is, if we add A vector with minus B vector, then we will get this S vector, and it will be oriented like this only. It will be oriented in this sense. It is called S vector. Now you have to find out this magnitude of S vector and the direction of S vector. Suppose it is directed at an angle with respect to A vector. Suppose this angle is phi. Now if this angle is chosen in the clockwise sense, from A to S, then this phi will be negative. That is, it will be minus psi actually. Because I told you that in vector analysis we always choose the angle in the positive sense in anti-clockwise direction. So if you choose angle in the clockwise direction, then it will be in the negative sense. So this angle will be minus psi. And what is the angle between A vector and minus B vector? The angle between A vector and minus B vector, if chosen in the anti-clockwise sense, it becomes what it becomes? This angle becomes pi plus theta. This angle becomes pi plus theta. Therefore, if you are asked to find out the magnitude of S vector, you will find out as S vector mod equal to root over A square plus B square plus twice AB cos pi plus theta, twice AB cos pi plus theta, and it will become root over A square plus B square minus twice AB cos theta, because cos of pi plus theta equal to minus cos theta. You can write it down actually. Cos of pi plus theta equal to minus cos theta. And what is the orientation of S vector with respect to A vector? The orientation is tan of minus psi, and it will come from this formula, that is B sin theta will become now pi plus theta by A plus B cos theta will become pi plus theta. Therefore, it becomes minus B sin theta by A minus B cos theta. Okay, so tan of minus psi equal to minus B sin theta by A minus B cos theta. Therefore, you can write down minus tan psi equal to minus B sin theta by A minus B cos theta. You can write it down or not? You can write down cos theta. Therefore, tan psi equal to B sin theta by A minus B cos theta. So, we have deduced the orientation of S vector with respect to A vector, and is given by tan psi equal to B sin theta by A minus B cos theta. So from this you have got the magnitude of S vector as well as the direction of the S vector. So it was about the subtraction of two vectors. So subtraction of two vector, if we have to define it, it becomes the addition of one vector with the reverse of another vector. It is the subtraction of two vectors. Now let us discuss something about the vector representation. It is very important topic. Okay, vector representation. How you have to represent a vector in a coordinate system or in a frame of. So our next topic of discussion is the representation of vector. So we will discuss the representation of vector in a coordinate system. So what will be the representation of vector in a coordinate system? Suppose you are given a coordinate system is x and y, a Cartesian coordinate system, and suppose you have any point P whose coordinate is x and a y, whose coordinate is given by this P point has coordinate x, y. So what you can represent this as a position vector. This P point can be represented as a position vector. How? The position vector of P is obtained by joining the point P with the origin O of the given coordinate system. Now this OP, it will give the position vector of P point, of this point P. So OP will give the position vector of this point P, and it is given by x I cap plus y j cap. So this is the representation of the position vector OP. X I hat plus y j hat in Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So in this way you can represent any point in a two-dimensional coordinate system. Now in a three-dimensional coordinate system, If you have a three-dimensional coordinate system, suppose this is a three-dimensional coordinate system x, y, z. Now this point P can be represented as x I hat plus y j hat plus z k hat. Okay, so I hat is unit vector along x direction, j hat or j cap is unit vector along y direction, and k cap is unit vector along z direction. So these vector can be represented as x I cap plus y j cap plus z k hat. So this is the representation of this in a two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system and three-dimensional coordinate system. Now, if we talk about the representation in more details actually, then first of all we have to discuss something about the components of a vector. At first let us discuss about the component of a vector and then I will give a detailed analysis of this representation system actually. So, what is the component of a vector quantity? Component of a vector. Component of a vector. Actually, component of a given vector in a given direction. So you have to find the component of a given vector in a direction only, in another direction only. Suppose it is a vector, and you have been asked to find out the component of this a vector in the direction of this direction. The direction is n hat is oriented. Suppose you have to find out this component along n hat. Then, in a simple sense, we can define that the component of a given vector A in a given direction is defined as the effective part of this vector A in that given direction, as the effective part of the given vector in that given direction, in which you have to find out the component of this vector. So, component of a vector is in a given direction, component of a given vector in a given direction is the effective part of this vector in this direction. Okay, so the definition of the component of a vector. Now, let us take the case that suppose you have a vector r vector. This is the point O. You have a given vector r vector, and you have been asked to find the two components of the. You have been asked to find out the component of this vector along this direction and this direction. Okay. Suppose it is OA and it is OB. Okay. And suppose it is C. This point is C. Then, and let us take that the angle between the two components actually OA and OB, these are the two components of R vector. So OA vector and OB vector are the components of R vector. So in this case OA and OB are the component of R. Now suppose this angle is alpha, say alpha. Therefore let us say angle AOB equal to alpha, and this angle is theta. Angle AOC equal to theta. So angle AOC is theta. Now let us join this. We have to construct parallel to OB. Okay. Then you can say that, and suppose this becomes, if the point is D. Therefore, in this triangle you can say, or if you extend it, for your simplicity, let us extend this. Okay, we can extend this direction. Okay. Let us say this point is C. Therefore, you can say from the basic geometry rule that OA, this side of the triangle. So here we can write down that the AC vector represents OB vector actually. AC vector and OB vector in the same direction. Mod of AC equal to mod of OB. Mod of AC equal to mod of OB. Therefore, OA, we are taking the magnitude part only. In this triangle, OA by sine of the angle subtended by the other two sides. What will be this angle? What will be this angle? This angle will be alpha minus theta. Sine of alpha minus theta is equal to AC by sine of the angle subtended by the other two sides. AC by sine theta is equal to OC by this angle. What will be this angle? This angle will be, if this angle is theta, this angle is alpha minus theta, then what will be this angle? This angle will be pi minus theta plus alpha minus theta. Okay, equal to pi minus alpha. So this angle will be pi minus alpha equal to sine of pi minus alpha. So up to this, it is clear that in this triangle AOC we have, OA by sine of this angle equal to AC by sine of this angle equal to OC by sine of this angle is from the basic geometry rule. Therefore, we can now say, suppose OA is given by A vector. Okay, it is given by B vector and this is R vector. Then you can say we are taking the magnitude part, we are considering the magnitude part only. Therefore, OA becomes A by sine of alpha minus theta equal to AC means B by sine theta equal to R by sine of pi minus alpha. So this relation will always hold if the R vector has two component vector, A vector and B vector. Here R vector has two component vector. The component of R vector is A vector and B vector in the direction of OA and in the direction of OB. Then if this is the condition, then A by sine of alpha minus theta equal to B by sine theta equal to R by sine pi minus alpha, where alpha is the angle between the two vector, alpha is the angle between A vector and B vector. Okay, and theta is the orientation of R vector with respect to A vector. So this relation will always hold. Now this is the general representation of a component in any given direction, suppose OA and OB in this case. So it is the condition of a component of the components of a given vector. Now you will find out in several cases that we are taking the rectangular components. We are resolving a vector into its rectangular component. We are resolving a vector into its rectangular components. So here, these are the components of R vector, no doubt, A vector and B vector. Now, if you are asked to find out what are the rectangular components of R vector, the rectangular component are that component of a given vector which are oriented at, which are mutually perpendicular to each other. That is, the rectangular components of a given vector will be mutually perpendicular. Therefore, if the case is, suppose this is R vector and these are the two component vector, A vector and B vector. Suppose these are the two component vector of R vector, A vector and B vector, and here the angle between A and B is 90 degree. Then we will tell that A vector and B vector are the rectangular components, or dissolutions, are the rectangular component of the dissolutions of R vector. Then A and B are called the rectangular components or rectangular resolutions of R vector. We are resolving this R vector into A vector and B vector such that the angle between A and B is 90 degrees. Then, if this is the case of rectangular resolution, then from this is, and suppose the angle between R vector and A is theta as previous. Then, if you put, now alpha has become 90 degree. For the case of rectangular resolution, this is the case of rectangular. This is the case of rectangular resolution. This is the case of rectangular resolution, and alpha has now become 90 degree. Therefore, put alpha equal to 90 degree into this equation. Then, what you will get? You will get A by sine of minus theta. Alpha equal to 90 degree, no? Pi by 2 minus theta. Sine of pi by 2 minus theta equal to B sine theta equal to R by sine pi minus pi by 2, that is pi by 2. Okay, so sine pi by 2 minus theta equal to cos theta. Therefore, we can write down A by cos theta equal to B by sine theta equal to R. Okay, therefore from this you can get A equal to R cos theta and B equal to R sin theta. This is a very important relation. In rectangular resolution of a given vector in two directions such that these two vectors, these two rectangular resolved vectors make angle 90 degree with each other, then if the component vector, rectangular components are A and B, then A is given by R cos theta and B is given by R sin theta. This relation is very, very important for your understanding purpose. And how these relations come? This relation basically comes from this generalized consideration of the components of a given vector in any two specific directions. Okay, so we can conclude that all vector resolutions are vector components, but all components of a vector are not the resolved parts of a given vector. For the condition to satisfy that the two components are the resolved part of a given vector, the angle between these two components must be 90 degree. Okay, so this is a very important relation in case of rectangular resolution of a vector. Now, let us talk about the multiplication of vector. Multiplication of vector. Multiplication of vector. So in case of vector, I have discussed about the addition of two vectors, the subtraction of two vectors, and now we will discuss the multiplication of vector quantities. Okay. So multiplication of vector can be of many types. First of all, the simple case is the number one, scalar multiplication. Scalar multiplication. Scalar multiplication. So scalar multiplication means, suppose you have a given vector A vector, then scalar multiplication means we will obtain by multiplying A vector with a given scalar quantity, suppose K into A vector, it will result into another vector B vector. So this is the scalar multiplication, and K is a scalar quantity. And the important part of our discussion is the vector multiplication. That is the multiplication involving two vectors. So it can be. So we will discuss about the vector multiplication details now. Okay. Suppose you have two vectors, A vector and B vector. Then what will be the cases of the multiplication of these two vectors? How many cases are possible regarding this multiplication? We will now discuss this thing. So for vector multiplication, there are two types of vector multiplication. One is the dot product. Dot product. Dot product. Okay. Dot product means, suppose here two vector A vector and B vector. Suppose we have two vector, A vector and B vector. Okay. Then we can get by the formula of dot product A dot B. We are multiplying these two vectors by using the dot product technique. Then A dot B, it will become magnitude of A, magnitude of B cos theta. This is the definition of the dot product. This is the definition of dot product of two vector A and B. The dot product of two vector A and B is A vector magnitude, B vector magnitude cos theta. So it will result to a scalar quantity. It results to a scalar quantity always. If we multiply the two vector quantities by using dot product technique, then the result will be a scalar quantity. Okay. And what is the geometrical significance? Now let's see the geometrical significance of the dot product. Suppose we have two vector, A vector and B vector. This is B vector. Now if we drop a perpendicular from the head of this B vector, then what is the significance, geometrical significance? Suppose this angle is theta between the two vectors. Here also theta is angle between the two vectors, A vector and B vector. Then we can say that this thing mod A mod B cos theta, it is basically magnitude of A into component of B vector along A vector. Okay. So this can be written in this way actually. Mod A mod B cos theta equal to mod A into component of B along A. What is the component of B along A? OC, and OC is what? OC equal to B cos theta. This component is actually OC in this figure, and it is actually OB cos theta equal to B cos theta by taking the magnitude part. B cos theta, capital B cos theta. Okay. Therefore, the geometrical significance of the dot product is that the dot product of two vector, A vector and B vector, making angle theta between them is actually the multiplication of the magnitude of one vector into the component of another vector in the direction of the previous vector. Okay. This is the geometrical significance of the dot product of two vector, and it always results into a scalar quantity. What are the examples of the dot product? Examples of dot product are work done equal to F dot S, where it is a force vector, is a displacement vector, and work done is a scalar quantity. We all know. Okay. Phi electric flux equal to E dot A. E is the electric field and A is the area. Okay, area vector. Then the electric flux is given by phi equal to E dot A. So these are the examples of a dot product and its application in several other topics of physics. Now we have to remember some points regarding this dot product. What are these points? Number 1, A dot B is equal to B dot A always. A dot B equal to B dot A. Therefore, this dot product holds the commutative law. Commutative law. This holds the commutative law. How? Suppose we have two vector, B vector and A vector. Now B vector makes angle theta in anticlockwise sense with A vector, and then we get the dot product A dot B equal to mod A mod B cos theta. Now what I am trying to say? I am trying to find out B dot. For B dot A, you have to choose the angle that A vector makes with B vector, and it is minus theta. A vector, what angle A vector makes with B vector is minus theta. Therefore, B dot A equal to mod B mod A cos of minus theta equal to mod B mod A cos theta equal to what? A dot B. Therefore, A dot B equal to B dot A, and it is the proof. Therefore, the dot product holds the commutative law. Second important point is that suppose if A dot B is equal to 0, then we can write down A vector is perpendicular to B vector. If A dot B equal to 0, these results equals to 0, then we can say that A vector is perpendicular to B vector. How? Because A dot B equal to 0 is mod A mod B cos theta equal to 0. If and the condition is mod A not equal to 0 and mod B not equal to 0. If mod A not equal to 0 and mod B not equal to 0, then if A dot B is equal to 0, then we get A is perpendicular to B vector. Now in this case we are given that mod A not equal to 0, mod B not equal to 0, therefore cos theta equal to 0. Therefore theta equal to pi by 2. Okay. So it was an important property. A dot B equal to 0. Then A vector is perpendicular given mod A not equal to 0 and mod B not equal to 0. Now, the third point of discussion is that we can write I vector dot I vector equal to j I hat dot I hat equal to j hat dot j hat equal to k hat dot k hat equal to 1. So, the dot product of the unit vector in the same direction, I hat into I hat, it is the unit vector of x axis is equal to 1 because the angle between I hat and I hat is 0 and cos 0 equal to 1. Therefore, j hat equal to 1, k hat equal to 1. I hat dot j hat equal to j hat dot I hat dot j hat equal to j hat dot k hat, say, okay, equal to j hat dot I hat, whatever combination is possible equal to 0. Because we are taking the unit vectors of perpendicular directions. I hat is the unit vector in x axis, j hat is the unit vector of y axis, then I hat dot j hat will be 0 because the angle theta between these two unit vector is pi by 2. Okay, so these are the three important points you need to remember regarding this dot product of two vector quantities. Okay. Now, another type of vector multiplication is the cross product of two vectors. It's a cross product of two vectors. What is the cross product of two vectors? The cross product of two vectors is defined as, let me first draw the diagram. Suppose we have a given plane. It is a given plane. Suppose it is a given plane and we have two vectors, A vector and B vector in this plane. We have two vectors, A vector and B vector in this plane, and the angle between them is theta, and the angle between A vector and B vector is theta. Now, the cross product is defined as cross product between A vector and B vector, A cross B. It is defined as mod A mod B sin theta into n hat. What is this n hat? This n hat is the unit vector perpendicular to the direction in which A and B lies. Perpendicular to the plane in which A and B lies. N hat is the unit vector. N hat unit vector. Remember I have told you about unit vector. Unit vector in the unit vector perpendicular to the plane in which A vector and B vector lies. So here A vector and B vector lies in this plane, therefore what will be n hat? Direction of n hat will be in this direction, perpendicular to the plane in which A and B lies. Okay, it is a cross product. Therefore what will be the direction of the cross product? The direction of the cross product will be this A vector cross B vector. So this will be the direction of this cross product of two vectors A and B. Okay. So what is the geometrical significance here? Let us see the geometrical significance. Geometrical significance can be given as, suppose it is the two vector, A vector and B vector, and the angle between them is theta. So you can construct a parallelogram. This theta. Therefore, A cross B is given by mod A, mod B, sin theta. Okay, into n hat suppose. Then we can write it 2 into half into mod A, mod B, sin theta. This thing into n hat. Okay, this is equal to OAB, say it is OAB. Then it is equal to 2 into area of triangle OAB into n hat equal to 2 into vector area. These are the different terms actually. 2 into vector area of triangle AOB. So what is the geometrical significance of the cross product of A and B? That if we construct a triangle from these two vectors, then A cross B equal to twice into vector area of the triangle AOB. Okay. And again, we can derive another geometrical significance of this vector as vector parallelogram OAC. So it is a vector area of parallelogram OAC. You have got, it is a twice the area of the triangle AOB. Therefore it is the vector area of the parallelogram OACB. Okay, it is a vector area of the parallelogram OACB. This is the geometrical significance of this cross product. Now let us see the important points to remember about this cross product. First point is that A cross B, this thing is equal to, and it is a vector, it results to a vector quantity. In the previous case, in case of dot product, the result was a scalar quantity, but this is a vector quantity. So it is called the vector product, and there is a scalar product actually. So A cross B equal to minus of B cross. Therefore, it is anti-commutative in nature. The dot product was commutative in nature, and the cross product is anti-commutative in nature. Okay, so A cross B equal to minus of B cross A. How? So A cross B is directed in this sense, N hat, and we have B cross A. What is B cross A? B cross A equal to B mod A sin theta, and what will be the, if we take the angle in anti-clockwise sense, then sin theta will become sin of minus theta into n hat. In previous case, in the general sense, we have taken at first the angle theta in anti-clockwise sense. Now, B cross A equal to this angle which A vector makes with respect to B vector in this sense, in this clockwise sense, and it is minus theta. There B cross equal to mod B mod A sin of minus theta into n hat equal to mod B. Now this whole thing is a magnitude part, and magnitude cannot be negative. Therefore mod B mod A sin theta into minus n hat. So direction will be negative. So this is the direction of plus n hat. Therefore direction of minus n hat will be this direction. This direction of minus n hat here. Therefore equal to minus of A cross B. B cross A equal to minus of A cross B. A cross B is in this sense, therefore B cross A will be in this sense. Therefore these two are anti-commutative in nature. Next, if we have A cross B equal to 0, if A cross B equal to 0, then A vector can be parallel to B vector or A vector can be anti-parallel to B vector. How? If A cross B equal to 0, if A cross B equal to 0 and mod A not equal to 0, mod B not equal to 0, it is given to you, then what will be 0? Sin theta equal to 0. Therefore, theta equal to pi or 0. Theta can be either pi or 0. If theta is pi, then A will be anti-parallel to B vector. If theta equal to 0, then A vector will be parallel to B vector. Okay, so it is an important point. Thirdly, we have I cross I equal to J cross J equal to K cross K hat equal to 0. Therefore, because the direction is, because I hat is independent in x direction, J hat is independent in y direction, and K hat is independent in z direction. Therefore, the angle between them is 0, and thus we have I cross I equal to J cross J equal to K cross K equal to 0. But you need to remember one thing. Suppose I have I, J, K. Remember this notation. Here, you remember always I cross J results to K vector. I cross J result to K vector. We have taken this notation in the anticlockwise sense. J cross K results to I vector. K cross I hat results to J cap. So I hat cross J hat equal to K hat. J hat cross K hat equal to I hat. K hat cross I hat equal to J. Okay. So these are the few relations or the few points you need to remember about the cross product of two vectors. Okay. So this was the vector multiplication of two vectors. Next, suppose we will now discuss about the representation of the vector which we have done in a two-dimensional coordinate system. In a two-dimensional coordinate system, what we have seen that in case of a two-dimensional coordinate system, suppose this is the point P having coordinate x, y, it is x-axis, it is y-axis. This is OP, okay, and it is given by r vectors. It is given by r vector. Position vector of the point P is r vector. Therefore, r vector equal to x I hat plus y j hat. R vector equal to x I hat plus y j hat. Okay. So this was the representation of this position vector r vector in the two-dimensional coordinate system. Now, if the angle is theta, then we can write down it that x equal to, then we have x equal to r cos theta and y equal to r sin theta. Then we have x equal to r cos theta and y equal to r sin theta in this case. If the angle between the vector r vector and the x-axis is theta. Okay. Now, I told you that you can also represent this vector in the polar coordinate, in polar coordinate. So let us try to represent it in polar coordinate. What will happen? So in this case, this is the point P. This is the direction of r vector. Okay. This is the direction of x. This is the direction of y. So it is the direction of I hat, it is the direction of j hat, it is the direction of r hat. Say we can also write down r vector equal to mod r into r hat. R hat is the unit vector in the direction of r vector. It is theta. So theta is in the cross radial sense. Cross radial sense means perpendicular to r hat. Here will be theta hat and it will be minus theta. It will be theta hat and it will be minus theta hat. This is theta, then this is also theta. Therefore, now come to this point. We have r vector equal to xi hat plus yj hat. Now here we have x equal to r cos theta when you transfer it in the polar coordinate system. Y equal to r sin theta when you transfer y in the polar coordinate system. Then what will be I hat? I hat. What will be I hat from this figure? Say I hat equal to what? R hat cos theta minus theta hat sin theta. I hat will be r hat cos theta minus theta hat sin theta, and j hat will be, what will be j hat? This angle is theta, this angle is pi by 2 minus theta, this angle is pi by 2 minus theta, again this angle is pi by 2, therefore this angle will be theta. Therefore j hat equal to theta hat cos theta plus r hat sin theta. J hat will be theta hat cos theta plus r hat sin theta, or you can write down is that r hat sin theta plus theta hat cos theta. This is j hat. So it is our basic equation 1. We have derived these relations. Now put the values of x, y, I cap and j cap in this equation 1. What you get? R vector equal to x means r cos theta into I hat. I hat is r hat cos theta minus theta hat sin theta plus what is y? Y is r sin theta, r sin theta into j hat. What is j hat? J hat is r hat sin theta plus theta hat cos theta. Okay, then you can write it as r cos square theta r hat minus r cos theta sin theta theta hat plus r sin square theta r hat plus r sin theta cos theta theta hat. Now we can cancel these two terms. Therefore we are only left with r cos square theta plus r sin square theta r equal to r cos square theta plus sin square theta into r hat. It is very important relation. R into cos square theta plus sin square theta into r hat. So what is it? It is actually we can write it down as r hat. Therefore you have got r vector equal to r into r hat. So there is no theta hat or the cross radial part in the representation of r vector. Therefore it is purely a radial vector. We have write down, at first I have told you that r vector equal to r mod of r into r hat, where r is the unit vector in the sense of r vector, and we have eventually derived this relation actually, okay, by means of polar transformation of coordinates. Therefore this is the representation of a vector in Cartesian form and in polar form, in polar coordinate. So for this dot product and cross product of two vectors a and b, we have defined the mathematical form. Now in practical cases, let us take two vectors, r1 vector which is given by x I hat, x1 I hat plus y1 j hat plus z1 k hat, and we have taken another vector r2 vector which is given by x2 I hat plus y2 j hat plus z2 k hat. Now if you have to find out the dot product between r1 and r2, we have r1 dot r2 is equal to, in this case, x1 x2 plus y1 y plus z1 z2. This result we have obtained by using the properties of the dot product, as I have discussed earlier. Again, if we have to find out the cross product between r1 and r2, this thing is, you should know it. If we have to find out the cross product between r1 and r2, then the technique is we have to find it out by using determinant method. What is the determinant method? Suppose it is a 3 cross 3 determinant I, J and K. Then x1, this is y1, this is z1, we have x2, y2, z2. So by using the determinant method, we can find it out that it is equal to I hat into y1 z2 minus y2 z1 minus j hat into x1 z2 minus x2 z1 plus k hat into x1 y2 minus x2 y1. So this is the representation of dot product of two vectors r1 and r2. If r1 is given in this form and r2 is given in this form in free space, in three-dimensional space, and it is represented in Cartesian form, and r1 cross r2 is given by this determinant method. Okay. Now we will discuss the three-dimensional representation of a position vector. The three-dimensional representation of the position vector. Suppose in this case, having three dimensions x, y, and z, we have a point P having coordinate x, y, z, and r vector is the position vector of the point P. Then we can write r vector as x I hat plus y j hat plus z k hat. We can write r vector in this form actually. Okay. Again, if remember one thing, if this r vector makes angle alpha, beta and gamma with positive x-axis, positive y-axis and positive z-axis, then we can define a term called direction cosine. What is direction cosine? In this case, direction cosine will be, direction cosines are cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma. These are the direction cosines. If these are makes angle alpha, beta and gamma with positive x, positive y and positive z axis, then we have the direction cosines cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma, and these are represented by L, N and N. These are the natural notation taken for the representation of the direction cosines. Here we have for this direction cosine L, N and M, we have L equal to cos alpha equal to r vector equal to x by root over x square plus y square plus z square, because in this case mod of r will be root over x square plus y square plus z square, magnitude of r. Therefore m equal to cos beta equal to y by root over x square plus y square plus z square, and n equal to cos gamma equal to z by root over x square plus y square plus z square. So these are the direction cosines cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma in positive x, positive y and positive z direction, and it is a mathematical representation. Therefore we can write down L square plus m square plus n square equal to 1, because in this case we have x square plus z square by x square plus z square, this will become 1. Okay, this is the property of the direction cosines L, M and N. Okay, so this was the three-dimensional representation of this n vector, and in this case r vector equal to, we can write down mod of r into r hat. What is r hat? Mod of r equal to x square plus x square, and what is r hat? R hat equal to cos alpha I hat plus cos beta j hat plus cos gamma k. R hat equal to cos alpha I hat plus cos beta equal to, in simple, L I hat plus m j hat plus n k. It is the representation of unit vector along the position vector r hat. So this is the three-dimensional representation of a vector of a position vector in three-dimensional coordinate system. Okay. So I have discussed about the basic features of a vector quantity. What is vector? What are the addition rules of a vector? What are the subtraction rule applicable for the vector? What are the vector multiplication? What do you mean by resolution, rectangular resolution and components of a given vector? Okay. and then representation of vector in two-dimensional space rather than in three-dimensional space. Okay, up to this discussion, if you find any kind of difficulties or doubt in understanding anything, any topic, then you can comment in the section below. And in the next session, I will talk about the application part of this vector in physics, in physical problems basically, in which cases we need to apply these vector properties. We will discuss in the next video. Thank you all.